4 organizations that help the homeless were lost. They got closed down.
I'm going to tell you that one of the easiest things that you can do is go home, invite all your neighbors to a meeting, everybody in your street, and invite Texas Rio Grande Legal Aid, because they offer so many resources. They offer a TOD, transfer of death upon a transfer of deed upon death for people who are low income and don't know how to transfer their properties onto their children, and that's free. They offer, pro bono attorneys. They have 64 different attorneys for 64 different departments, and they offer so many resources. Just bringing them to your neighborhood would help so much.
She wanted
Just
us to hand
your
these out,
neighborhood.
just to renew your license. Those are interested in finding out how to. She wanted us, Texas Legal Aid wanted us to hand these out.
If y'all have anybody that needs help getting their final documents coming out, y'all can have Mark call me, or I can give you my card, because we do pay for those, and I can order them.
Would you like to?
I'd like to add, as far as the commissioner's courts, I was at a meeting with legislative wrap-up luncheon. Our senators, representatives, they're reacting, but they're not informed. They haven't read the thousands of pages of the proposed bills. They rely on consumers, constituents to attend meetings, but at the same time, we don't know that they're not prepared. That they just got their, what is it called, their agenda like the day of the meeting or the week prior to. They don't have enough time to read through all that. So as a community, we need to be aware of operations.
Yes.
Like what he said from the inside. Who's really advising the council that advises?
Absolutely.
And I've questioned this.
Yeah.
And I've yet to have any answer from them. But I'm aware of their inadequacies, how they're applying, they're learning from the environment. But again,
So it sounds like y'all two basically y'all do hit the commissioner's court here, right?
I've never seen her.
Okay.
I only went like
But
5.
that's a great, I'm glad you said that, because you know what that means? There's not many people,
No,
right?
we do have,
Y'all, how many people go for y'all? Like, are y'all regularly there? Is it just y'all to work?
No, there's another organization that's not here, and they go on a regular basis because they're very involved in infrastructure.
Are there more like the people in the like constituents than y'all?
Yes,
So
there's
that's the
house,
number we
there's
need to
groups
change over. We
that
have to get
go
more
on a regular
involved.
basis.
But this is the thing. I addressed the entire room, and it was maybe like 200, 300 people,
Mhm.
where every advisory council, in my opinion, is not adequately trained to make these
You're
decisions
100%
or
right.
oversight procedures that is necessary to really truly understand how these next bills that are already passed or they're in the process of being passed, they're already accounting for mental health, but at the same time, the individuals that are trained to provide these programs or these curriculums, they're not even aware of how effective their training is.
Yeah.
So even if I have thousands of resources and I'm connecting the resources, and then at the end we have, let's say, an early adopter that doesn't even know how they can influence the process or the proposal process so that they can iterate on it. People aren't even. That's why I was trying to go back to what kind of training do you have
Well, the thing
provided?
is, I mean, this is just my thought on it, is that then you go in and you go and talk about it.
You'll
You
be
know,
that.
get
But
educated.
look, I am going in, but this
Yeah,
is the
you
thing.
can't change what somebody else
The
knows.
people that I'm supposed to be educated by, they're not educated.
So you know that. So then go be the educator.
No, but I have to be very personal. Personal. I deal with people individually. I deal with people individually because their outcomes are reflective of who they're associated with and how that association is supporting them.
Do you take the knowledge that you know though and speak to groups instead of individuals?
No,
Why?
not yet.
Why?
I mean, I just met him recently, and this is
I'm
why
gonna-
I'm here.
I'm gonna need you to do that. I'm gonna need you to do that.
Well,
Yeah. So
Well,
when
we
we go to
do.
commissioner's court, we don't go by ourselves. We go in numbers.
Sure.
I go
But
by myself.
The second thing is, I'm gonna tell you this. Back in 1990, the people that lived in the rural areas, commissioners court, and said we want street lights, and the court said, in the state of Texas, people who live in rural areas do not get access to funds, county
right.
funds. So then, instead of like the questions, you have to be ready with questions. So how do we do that? The judges said, when pigs fly. They literally said that when pigs fly. What did the community do? They started block walking, collecting signatures, and they collected so many signatures they took to the state of Texas, and they were able to amend
I
that
wanted to
law.
address
And
the
then
gentleman over
they took
here
it to
and
court
just
again,
share
and
before I
they
leave.
said, guess
Okay,
what?
I'm
We
gonna
just
tell them one
had the law updated, and now we have access to those funds. How long did it take? It took from early 2000s to 2011. It took over 11 years of collecting petition signatures to change that law. But we went back to court and we said, guess what? Pigs flew. We threw up the little pigs because now we are a county that allows Colonia residents to petition and get their own street lighting. And that's a major accomplishment in infrastructure. We work really well with the commissioners, but it takes that power that you have. When you can bring people and you can pull out people and people will protest or people will petition, people will do like any action that you need them to do, then that's when the powerful people start looking at you.
Before y'all, I'm gonna give y'all one piece, and then she wants to talk to y'all real quick. I'm gonna leave on each one of you. I'm gonna try and walk and give every one of you one. I've got a packet that's gonna have on there an access that you get as a member of Time Done. Go on timedone.org. You put in your name, first, last name, I think zip code, and email and phone number, right? Then they can have access to therapy. It's a BetterHelp app. You use it from your phone. We pay for it. It gives you 3 months for free. If you need it longer than that, great. Call me. We'll access it longer than that. And we also have one for adults, and it's also for your teenagers. And it's licensed therapists. So you go on there and you pick it out based on your religion, all these questions. It's wonderful. I used it last year. But if anybody is needing that or knows therapy or has trauma or whatever, I'm gonna leave that information for y'all to access. Okay, well y'all have it down here.
All
Floor's
right.
yours. I'm gonna go start.
Okay. My name is Adelina. Thank you so much to Mark and Time Done for allowing me to be here. I did want to jump in before everybody leaves. I offer support in a totally different way than a lot of people here. Mine is behavioral, it's emotional support, it's understanding why we do the things we do. So the gentleman over here, sir, Mike, Mark, no, no, the right behind you. Okay, so he mentioned something that I believe is a topic across the board when we deal with people that are self-sabotaging, right? So a person who is self-sabotaging isn't doing it intentionally, right? We expect that you should know better because the exact words you said were common sense, right? And we expect people to have common sense. But the majority of us, when it comes to certain, this is the title of my book. It's Emotions Over Logic, the Truth Behind Self-Sabotage. So logically speaking, yes, sir, you're completely 100% right. A person should, if they get in a relationship and they have a pregnancy occur, the guy should, do certain things to take care of his family. Logically speaking, everybody can agree that that would be the better thing to do, right? And not do drugs and not spend money on things that he shouldn't. But we're creatures of habit and we're emotionally driven. So, Miss Summer talked about trauma, right? Everybody deals with situations differently based off of how they learned to deal with situations. Okay, so in my book, I do discuss how the mind is pre-programmed and how we as humans connect words and actions to thoughts and emotions. And we are all subject to a universal law, and that law is the law of habit. We're creatures of habit. And so, therefore, if as a young child you had parents who dealt with an emotion, let's say of anger, in a fashion where they spoke negative words negatively, this child will be programmed to adopt that style of dealing with this emotion in the same fashion. And that is like 97% of all humans. We will, what we see, what we hear, and what we experience in life is going to program our mind from the time we're babies, sometimes even all the way in the womb, we're being programmed. And from there, we will adopt belief systems and learn how to react to situations in life. And so when you're dealing with individuals who are self-sabotaging, whether it's with drugs, alcohol, um, any fashion, partying, sex, anything, this person is reacting to an emotional and mental state in a way where they've learned to do that. And because we are creatures of habit, started to do this since a certain amount of time, and now years later, it would be great if, logically speaking, they said, I think this is not good for me, I'm not going to do it anymore, and be able to actually do that. But we don't operate like that. So what we need to do in these cases is reprogram the mindset and learn how to connect different words and actions to those same emotions, because everybody is entitled to experience anger, jealousy, um, loneliness, whatever emotion, right? And if what you're speaking and how you're reacting in action to these emotions is not getting you the result that you want, then what you want to do is learn to connect different words and actions to this thought and emotion, right?
Yet the fact is that when I went to the Marine Corps, the majority of the people that go to the Marine Corps, there's only a few that do not pass. And they happen to be the athletes, the ones that are popular in school, etc. The ones that are skinny and non-popular and whatever, they grind down, they swallow their pride, and they're able to pass to the Marine Corps. And after they leave the Marine Corps, they still have a sense of pride, not to so things that were instilled in you since childhood can be changed.
Absolutely.
That's a fact.
So I love that you brought that up, because as I speak with my groups, I use the example of a Marine. And what do they say about Marines? Once a Marine, always a Marine. But one of the important things that you just said is when a person joins the military to be a Marine, they're not a Marine yet. The Marines program them, they train them. And I've heard that Marine training is one of the hardest trainings in the entire military. I'm not sure if that's true or not, but they go through a lot and they break the person down so that they can rebuild them as a Marine. They say, I don't care what you thought about life. I don't care what religious preferences you have. I don't care of your background. You're here to be a Marine, and this is what a Marine is, and this is how you become a Marine.
Very few.
So they are taught how to think, what to feel,
Yes,
and how to react,
yes.
right? And that's how they train them to be Marines. They reprogram their entire mindset.
And that's the key.
And that causes the transformation in the person, that when they came in, no matter what background, and it's such a beautiful example, because in this scene here, dealing with individuals who have been incarcerated, and when they come out, they are labeled as felons and convicts and criminals. And that, can you imagine the emotional and mental state these people feel, and the doubt and the confusion that they have within themselves? What I love to do is say, let's reprogram that feeling that you have to that thought of that label. And let's say, no, you're not a felon. You committed a felony, but that's not who you are. You are deserving of, and you're capable of, and you are human and you can do it. And you reprogram, because if not, society can break you down and keep you living in that same cycle unless you start to own your ability to say no. And I am this. I not to say I want to be a Marine, but I want to be successful. I don't want to follow in the footsteps of my parents. I don't want to continue this cycle of self-sabotage, right? So people need to learn how to, because sometimes there's individuals who don't even know what success looks like, what happiness looks like, what feeling good feels like. And so that's where where organizations and things like this come in, and we make a difference in this life. So I appreciate everybody here who does what they do in their own way. But in my book, I talk about how I've been in toxic and very abusive relationships, and I knew what I should have done long before I ever really did it. I knew what I shouldn't be doing, what I should do, but emotions overrule logic 98% of the time. People know what they should or shouldn't be doing, but emotionally, we will retreat back to what is comfortable, what is familiar, instead of doing something new.
And positivity is the greatest source, more than the Marine Corps. If you talk to somebody positive, let's say you have a child who thinks he's not worthy of something, and you just say, "You're doing great, you're doing great." I have this true story for these two black individuals, grew up in poverty. They went all the way to college and became doctors. Once they got their degrees, somehow, somehow they went back to their mom and said, "This is our degree,"
Yes.
right? They, each one became a doctor, and the mother saw the degree and everything. And mom, read what it says. Well, every time that they went up to her, ever since junior high, high school, whatever, she would say, "Great, try to make it a little bit better, but you're doing a good job," right? When they graduated college and when they graduated law, medical school, they finally realized that their mom was not able to read or write, but she's the one who
Who
supported
pushed and supported. So that's a beautiful story. But before you guys leave, I do have a QR code here that if you guys don't mind scanning and staying connected with me, anybody who does enter and submit an evaluation of even just a little talk that I just gave, or what you guys feel about this event in general, before you guys leave, we'll do a wheel, and I'm giving away 2 free books here. So in case you guys want to, I encourage you to come and scan that QR code. Thank you. Good stuff. Yeah. Actually, it's where did it go? Where did it go?
Not that one.
The other yeah. Oh, this one right here. That's the evaluation.
It's not over here.
This is the evaluation. These are to order the books.
Oh, okay.
You're welcome. Thank you.
They wanted a book. They
Oh.
wanted
Excuse me, ma'am. Do you want a book?
I wanted a book, yes,
Okay.
yes, but we can't sell.
We can sell.
So
Let me give you one. I'm gonna give two away. I'll give you the third. But if you could, do you know how to use the QR code? If you could do that one.